Alright, let's continue our adventures in Pillars of Eternity. I want to make some progress, play a couple hours. Hopefully get Act 2 done. I don't know how much longer I got in Act 2, but I think I'm starting to hit towards the end of Act 2. I'm hoping. It seems that way. Doesn't look like we can go here and clear out any fog of war over here. So let's head towards this campfire.
These ruins are claimed, friend. On your way.
No need to get riled, boys. We're just passing by.
Look at his talisman, Pag. Eothasian.
How about that? A godless sack of shit. We got a blazing corpse worshiper on our hands.
Actually, they never found the body.
Only reason for the legacy is because the Duke doesn't got the guts to see you all slaughtered. The gods want you dead. Me and Pag, though, we've done our part during the purges, didn't we, Pag?
Seamstresses?
Make your cracks now. Got no god or homeland to avenge you. By Magrin, this'll be short work.
Do you always swear by your god when you do a devil's work?
Doesn't matter who it was for anyway. Country's better for the purges. Maybe we start a new purge right here.
Alright, should be an easy battle. There's only two of them. Yep, easy.
They were right. That was short work.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
The tip of some metal object protrudes from a mound of watery river silt. With both hands, you and Eder begin digging in the mud until the object is dislodged. You close your hand around it and pull it from the wet earth. The object is a steel semicircular frame about the size of your fist. At even points around the semicircle, jagged points jut out like tongues of flame, the rays of a rising sun. At the sun's center is the carved silhouette of a Vorlas plant.
I've seen these before. They top the standards of Raid Ceres. Or did when Weidman was alive. Well, it's something. Just not sure what it gets me.
Let's show it to the grieving mother, see if she can help us. Look, I appreciate you taking the initiative, but I don't think there's much chance that this nice stranger lady happens to be a cipher. But we know she is, because her class page says she is. The grieving mother looks at you. I will do what I can, but I will need the skill of a watcher to aid my own, to identify the soul once I have found its traces. She turns to Eder, her hand outstretched. Eder hands her the steel sun. The motion is mechanical, unconscious. The grieving mother takes the sun in one hand and yours in the other, and you can feel her presence in your mind, her thoughts bidding you to relax. Focus, she says, and the word reverberates as if through an endless chasm. You close your eyes and concentrate. The sun is bright in your mind's eye, warm with the pulse of collective experience and noisy with the thoughts of the past, of battle, of faith, of home. You drift from voice to voice, thought to thought, Eder's soul a vibrant signature with which to locate his brother. One voice stands out amidst the din, brassy and earnest, a shade brighter than Eder's, but unmistakable of the same construction. You have no image of its owner, but his journey is imprinted within the points and curves of the steel sun, and in your mind it opens before you as a path stretching both southward to Gilded Vale and northward over the uneven terrain that joins the Deerwood to Red Ceres. You trace the path back to its origin, far back as you can find. gliding over plains and hillsides to a one-room home on Gilded Vale with a thatched roof and a dirt floor. The path is faint here, its distance and time rendering images blurry and details scarce. From Gilded Vale it follows a road towards Madmer Bridge, reaching the gates of Defiance Bay before diverting abruptly, cutting northward in a beeline for Red Saris. The path leads to a Red Saren city, regal and austere in the Aether Imperial style. It winds through streets and climbs a grand set of stairs into a stately building, passing through pointed archways into what appears to be a throne room. Upon the throne sits a man whose head is pure, blinding light, and as its gaze turns to you, the light drowns out all else. Its voice carries the force of thunder, but its words are impossible to make out in the imprint echoes of echoes. The voice and light fade, and the path bends backward, carrying you along to a barracks, then back southward, marching into Deerwood and skirmishing along the way. Upon one battlefield, the imprint is vivid, and you see a red serried standard topped with a steel sun, clutched in the hands of a fallen soldier. You see a young man in red Saren armor of Aether's straw-colored hair race towards the standard and lift it, the path you've been following clear to see beneath his feet. And as his hand brushes the steel tip, you can hear his thoughts racing in a blur, and they are of his god and his country and a brother he hopes is far away from this place. In an instant, the thoughts are gone as well as the man, and the standard is passed to another soldier. You pick the path up again as it meanders south and disintegrates in the shadow of Cleobon Relag. You open your eyes.
Anything? Looked like you were working real hard there.
Your brother got as far as Defiance Bay before turning to Red Saris instead. He met Waidwin there, then he enlisted.
What'd he talk about with Widewind?
Waidwin's head was a beam of light.
I figured that. Woden and me had heard enough stories from his uprising to know it wasn't just some tall tale. Doesn't mean he was Aethys. It could have been some wizard's trick. It's what they talked about that's important. What'd they say?
I don't know.
That's not funny. Come on. That metal sun, my brother touched it. You saw where he went. Now what'd he talk about with Widewind? Why'd my brother fight for Raed Saris?
I really don't know.
I guess that's it.
We'll find some other way to know why he did what he did.
I don't think we will. What would we do? Look for more war relics? We were lucky to find this one. Soldiers that fought with him are long dead. The battle was a massacre. Whatever Aethys knows, he's not talking to anyone.
We don't have to wait around anymore. I got what I needed. If only there were words to fill such emptiness. Better yet, to remove his doubt, his questions. I regret that my answers have only deepened his pain. What the well holds added, the quest expires in one day. A few more miles north of Kindlevale sits a tiny village called Whitewreath, so small that it's often missed on maps and tax records. The village has little contact with the rest of Deerwood. Despite its tiny size, the village has a long history dating back to its use as a Glanfathan tribal camp over 3 centuries ago. One of the most prominent features of the community is a deep well, the top of which is made from Engwithian Adra. Though not of any religious significance to the Glanfathans, all who see it agree that the well is truly ancient. In recent years, locals have reported strange sounds from within the well. Some describe it as animal sounds, others as odd speaking in a foreign tongue. No one has dared venture down into the well, but villagers have become nervous about drawing water from it. Though the community has modest resources at their disposal, they have reached out to nearby lords for assistance. Let's send Hiravas.
Yeah. Shh.
Alright, save our game. We got some progress done there. Another quest completed, even if it doesn't really help. Broken bridge lies before you. Most of it appears to have crumbled into the river centuries ago, leaving two jagged ledges on either side of the water. You see a yawning passage into the mountain on the other side. You might be able to jump across the gap. Jump to the other side. Grieving mother misjudges the gap and barely makes it across, spraining her wrist in the process. Well, let's go ahead and camp. We got 4. Let's see what my other options are here. Let's just keep with the damage reduction. You find yourself back in the space inside the Green Mother's mind. It is familiar this time, and even though you feel you've seen countless bursts from this vantage point, something fills you with unease. The sky is darkened and the mist has risen from the forest to hem you in. You are trapped. You hear something. The sound is strange, dissonant, like warping metal. You grit your teeth against the noise, and yet, as it rises, the eerie melody drives the numbness from your limbs and clears a space in the midst. Focus on the chimes. The noise resolves into a dull tone. As it resounds through your bones, you see that your hands are in motion. And once again you are drawn forth life, something warm and fragile struggling into the world. This scene feels familiar, a moment you have lived and dreamed 1,000 times before, and yet something ominous gnaws at the edges. Focus on the child, the movement of your hands. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes, clear and sharp, yet somewhere distant they seem echoed by something else. Wails of sorrow, tolling bells, it's impossible to tell. Draw the child forth. An inexplicable sense of dread fills your soul as the child makes its journey to you, push by push. A malicious presence seems to surround you, and you lean forward to shield the child. At last, the baby emerges, wet and ruddy from its journey. A lifetime seems to have passed as the newborn moved from womb to world, and another seems to pass as you cradle the trembling child, waiting. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the chime echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you're viewing a soul from within a soul. But it is there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry her hands reach out for it. Surrender the child. You surrender the child to her, something you've done many times before, and as your hands move, the dull clangor sounds, and you feel a weight hanging from your wrists. You look down and see bones, tiny and malformed, hanging from a string about your wrist. They're heavier than they should be, and as they clank together, they make a noise like funeral bells. The mother is too intent upon her newborn to pay you any heed, and so you hide your wrist behind your back. She need never know, can't ever know. As you hide the bone chimes, you shiver, in relief with premonition, at the chill wind that suddenly sweeps the plateau. Wake up.
Your mind comes bearing questions, Watcher.
I walk again in your memories. This time they felt strange. I would see them again. Your vision gives way to the waves of feelings. While you feel the jagged marks of violence you passed before, this time the path is easier. There is no resistance, and you set about casually harnessing her memories, focusing on the one you seek. There's a slow rush of warmth, and your thoughts enter as before, circling the memory you shared when you first met. You find yourself back in the space inside the grieving mother's mind. It is familiar this time, even though you feel you've seen countless... It's just basically the same thing as it was, I think. Focus on the woman's cries. The woman should be in pain, the natural pain of childbirth. You know this, but it is faint, distant, and you realize that you're soothing the pain with your mind, smoothing out the eddies of pain and relaxing her thoughts just enough so that she could still push from within, push the child forth. You are taking that pain onto yourself, but the pain has layers. One is a pressure, a familiar, welcoming pain, and the other, it is sharp, a razor at your consciousness, more recent than this memory. And as you try to recall how you've reached this place, you feel the same hollowness inside yourself. a pit filled with the clawing winds of a Biowak. The very thought fills you with disquiet, like the memories of a nightmare. I walked again your dreams, thoughts, and I believe your memories. A mixture of curiosity and fear wells up between you. She raises her left hand, the chiming at her wrist, quelling the rise within her. She is frightened, but curiosity anchors her.
And what did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
Never mind, I have other questions I wanted to ask you. What's that you're wearing on your wrist? She extends her hands, and the small chimes on her wrist sound at the motion, just as they sounded in her memories. The chimes are finely crafted, of white adra. They are wrapped around the grieving mother's wrist with tiny woven braids of hair of different colors, from white to black, brown to blonde. You feel as if you're noticing them for the first time. If the birthing chimes were given to newborns, why do you wear a set now?
There was no child to carry it.
And suddenly there's a rasping cry across your consciousness, and you see her flinch visibly, as if struck. She raises her hands, and you see the chimes draped from them, yet they make no sound as she moves. In your memory, they look like bones.
And carry the weight of 100 deaths. I know, Watcher.
This is about Hollowborn, isn't it?
The Hollowborn.
The same chill you felt before is stronger now, as if it's welling up around your feet, to your ankles. You feel a sudden urge to draw away, as if from an unpleasant memory. Hold on. Just gotta see this. The Hollowborn, the same chill you felt before, is stronger now, as if it's welling up around your feet, to your ankles. You feel a sudden urge to draw away, as if from an unpleasant memory.
The Hollowborn have a future. They can be saved, and the Tells spoke of such.
How would you know? Have you seen this future?
They can be saved. They must be saved. You have seen the beauty in childbirth. What good came into the world there on the plateau. You helped me recall it. It is a memory we shared. It is the truth.
In the memory, you hid the chimes on your wrist from the mother. Why? It is not what I hid, but what she saw. She couldn't know. The grieving mother squeezes her eyes shut and brings her hands to her ears. No more equivocation. What really happened at the birthing
And
mill?
what would you consider real, Watcher? The truth that was experienced and remembered? Or the one that burned out only to be swept under the rug and forgotten like ash from a fireplace?
What happened mattered. Forgetting it doesn't make it less real.
And how much of your own life has been lost to the error of memory? How many loves and betrayals were colored with the false hues of emotion? A pity to wonder how much of your own life happened the way you recall.
We should get going. Make sure she has nothing
Your
else to
mind
talk
comes
about.
bearing
Hey,
Okay, now we have to talk to
hope I
him.
didn't seem ungrateful back there in the battlefield. And you went out of your way.
I didn't notice.
Got real close. Didn't expect that. And for a second, I thought I was gonna finally see some answers. Foolish, of course. And why should I get answers? There's a world of Aethasians out there, don't know if their god's been blown up. Still, man can't help looking back.
Sorry for the interruptions. Family crap.
Guess you'd know that well as anyone.
Oh, Jesus, the interruptions. I can't do anything in peace in my fucking life. Claps you on the shoulder. Guess you'd know that as well as anyone. Vader stares off, focusing on some distant thing, unseen and unrealized.
I might have turned my back on my god when he needed me. That's all I'll ever know.
Your mistake wasn't waiting for someone else to tell you what was right.
Guess if I'll never know any better, I may as well pick something I feel good about. The best part of worshipping a dead god is there's no punishments. Something to think about, I guess.
Alright, so let's save our game. I'm sorry about the interruptions. I gotta be everybody's goddamn answer man.
Yeah.
Why me? I have my own problems. I don't need to be the fixer for everybody else's problems, but I always end up being that. I just want to be left alone. Find sides of the lead and key within Siobhan Relag.
Keeping an eye out.
Alright, so it looks like we're in full-on dungeon exploration mode. Good.
Let's go!
Dead on!
Let's go.
Easy enough.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
Troll skin. Alright. So I want to take a right, take a left. Let's take a right first. Pretty graphics.
I'm on the trail.
Trolls aren't as hard as they used to be. At least not these level trolls. How can the people of Virtues resist the profane and lawless? Work in the elm diggett's roots that the storms cannot wash them out. Let's go back this way and see what's over here. Okay, so another exit. We'll make sure to leave this way when we leave.
Hello? Hello? I think I see something.
Huh?
Dead on.
My mind.
Slow and silent.
Yeah, let's go this way. Let's see what's behind door number 1.
I can do that. As requested.
An anima. Sorry again. Okay, now it'd be nice if people just let me alone. Yeah, right, like that ever happens. Hungering always for nations and gold, they were ruthless and fearless. Ooh, a tiny animat. Cool. And a small shield. Sir's supper plate. Let's give that to him and let's take a look at things. Okay. I want to run with the animat instead of the pigment. Cool. Let's see. The only people who use shields are him, and he has a large shield and he has a medium shield. Let's look at the small shield. I don't really have anybody to use a small shield with, so that could just go to Bang for now. Oh, I got a mini animate with me. Cute. Oh, just leave me alone. Let me stream in peace. I think I need to go back up this way because I think that circles around. So let's go back there.
Margren's fire casts light in dark places.
Let's see what's over this way. I hear water.
Dead on!
Can't get a good
My mind feels...
Dead on!
Let's go.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Keeping an eye out.
Savages massed at the gates with their arrows and swords and spears, yearning for conquest and plunder. Their chieftains and warriors feared not vengeance of gods nor the wrath of their enemies. Death would not punish them. I don't think I can go out that way or anything. No, I cannot. Let's see where this is heading. Looks like this is heading north of the area I was at.
What's this?
I don't know. Let's find out. More potion. Corrupted druid.
Where? Raw.
And what does the flame reveal?
Okay, is this, it looks like this is leading back to the area I was at eventually. More corrupted druids.
Laying low.
Oh, that was a potion. Let me see what that potion was. Bulwark against the elements. You know what? Let me free up some inventory space by putting all these pets in here. I'm only using one pet at a time. I'm not really switching between them anyways. There we go. That is better. Alright, so now we're back to where we were. We went in a circle. So it looks like the only way to go is down this way. Doesn't look like there's any way across this way, so let's go around.
Arthur. Worden. Can't get a good shot.
I have them!
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Never could Picos accord with their chiefs. Can a people find order when sunset brings darkness, but never a map in the stars in the sky? Almost looks like there's a path here, but can't go that way, so maybe, guess not. Sporlings.
Dead on!
Rock 10!
Dank Spore. Go for the dank memes.
Dead on!
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Dead on!
I have them!
Right.
Keeping an eye out.
Find mail armor.
Dead on!
I think I see something.
Let's go!
Dead on!
Slow and silent.
I think I see something.
Find stiletto and a lockpick.
Huh?
Okay, so let's see here. Make sure we explored everywhere. We can't really get over there. Not yet. We may have to go down and then come back up. Everywhere else we've looked. Is that right? What about over here? Let's just have them take a look over here. There might be a path across or something, and maybe I just didn't go far enough forward to see it. Okay, they're almost there. Okay, can't get across that way. Let's make sure we can't get across this way either. I'd rather be safe than sorry, but I don't think so. I think this must be... we gotta go down to go up type of situation. We're gonna take a camp here. Get their health back up. Okay, that's a little better. Sitting straighter. Not slouching. It feels a bit better.
If secrets whisper here,
okay, let's check out over here. Wonder if this is just one big room. It does kind of indicate that the map isn't very big. There's a door there. And there's a door there. A series of pictographs, simple but clear, are carved on the column of this alcove. Figures of men and women with their arms raised are carved into the top of the column. Suits of armor in the same pose has been chiseled into the bottom. Let's make sure this room is free of any secrets, which it does look like. So are they trying to tell me all I have to do? I forgot to camp, didn't I? Yes, I did.
Steady does it. Sure.
Make sure that does nothing. Nope. Alright, let's go ahead and camp.
Yeah.
Alright, everybody's back up to snuff. Let's save. Let's go check out these side doors first.
Sure.
That doesn't sound good.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Ardred rose from a central pillar and seems to spill down the steps. Luminous egg-shaped stones are nested within the rippling Adra. Like Drake type stuff, maybe? Drake eggs or something? Aloth finished his Beryl, an Adrian dignitary, has arrived at the stronghold. He requests your aid with an upcoming meeting with representatives of the Fisher Crane tribe near the Thane Bog. He was nearly set upon by brigands on the road, but your patrols intervened. So I have to be back to within 8 days. That shouldn't be a problem, I hope.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Right.
I'll take a look.
Scenes from a battle appear on this column. An army of men in loincloths and hides is gathered, dwarfed by a dozen full suits of armor that loom over them. In the descending images, the armors crush the army. So let me look at the map. Looks like I can go that way, but I don't want to go in the door. Let's finish off this path. Adra animate.
Can't get a good shot with this.
see.
Dead on.
Let's go.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Negrithian shield, Negrithian shield. The core of perception 2. Let's just take a look. I don't think that's an upgrade for anybody. No. Okay.
Let's go.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Let's go. Let's go.
Hey,
Right.
Let.
Laying low.
Images of men and women swinging hammers and heating iron over a forge fill this alcove. Small horn helm and breastplate. Fighters of 9, relentless and fierce as the thousands of foes. So this was the forge. Let's head back to... Oh, it looks like that door might be open now. It wasn't before. So I had to clear that out.
Can't get a good shot with this.
This one repels.
This isn't working!
And what does the flame reveal?
A man and woman carved from lustrous adder pour the contents of a vase at their feet. That's cool looking.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Steady does it.
Finish exploring the area. And that will be the central chamber finished explored. So let's go look at this side door and then we'll go through this door.
I can do that. As requested.
Steady does it.
I think I see something.
A lot of traps. Free experience.
Nice and slow. Let's go.
Dead on.
Hello? Hello?
The pictograms in this alcove portray a procession marching to an altar. A lone figure lies upon the altar. And another member of the procession drives a dagger into his heart. Something flows from the dying man into a white stone perched above the altar. Time was availed to the godless. No blessings to reap and no mercies to sow. Curio, shop construction completed. Let's start working on building something else then. Hedge maze.
Let's go.
Can't get a good shot with this.
And what does the flame reveal?
Bloodstone. A column of hieroglyphs shows men and women standing in a line descending into a pool. The figures that emerge below it stand with outstretched arms and triumphantly serene expressions. Alright, so that's the door to the central chamber open. Let's go up and then we'll take this other door.
Let's go.
Light, flame, and sound.
The images in this alcove depict a row of pale stones surrounding a suit of armor. Something flows from the stones and into the armor, imbuing it with a golden halo. Let me guess, animancy related. It's all animancy related. 4 egg-shaped stones sit atop short, narrow pedestals, all face an altar in the middle of the room. Alright, let's go out this side door and see what's here. Save our game, it's been a bit.
My thoughts were dull.
Good shot.
Sure.
And here's the pool they descended in, leaving their bodies to offer their souls and forsaking the weakness of flesh and enfeebling of bone. The barbarian godless succumbed at last. A man and woman carved from lustrous adder pour the contents of a vase at their feet. Oh, an Ingwithian key. Okay. So we're off to the central chamber then.
Slow and silent.
Let's see what's in the central chamber. Oh, ghosts or something. Alright, let's head back up. See, I knew you had to head down to head back up. Trixie. Let's just explore first. Let's just leave, because that's probably going to end up being another way out.
Steady does it.
Another, oh, here we go. Oh, he just kind of disappeared. Something in the ether hums and buzzes through your teeth. A haze of essence lingers over the body, as faint and insubstantial as a dust plume in a rider's wake. Yet as you draw closer, whispered instructions echo in your ears, and anticipation warms your blood. In a vision, you see the same stone machine you approached moments ago, but from a different height and angle, as if through different eyes. You'd heard rumors that some of your brethren were sent here months before, yet you see no sign that anyone has been here. In fact, the cobblestones are covered in a fine layer of dust, ash. You know suddenly what this will cost you, and you are ready. The orders were clear. The effect of the machine in Cleaban Relag were wearing off. A child had been born not far from Deerford recently, its soul intact. The machine would need to be reactivated. So it's these pillars that are causing the Hollowborn. You and your companions take up your positions. You share a final look of affirmation between yourselves. They don't know your name and you don't know theirs, but you know that you're doing the work of the gods together. None of the rest matters. 2 carved bands of stone in the middle of the machine grind into motion. They rotate in opposite directions, picking up speed until they spin like freshly greased carriage wheels. A wind shrieks through the cavern, accelerating with the stone rings. You press your hands to your ears and grit your teeth against the noise. You're about to shut your eyes when you glimpse new movement. Rows of triangular flaps around the machine open like petals. You don't know what's happening in the machine, but you feel a tingling at your extremities. Searing pain spreads throughout your body, a hot knife separating every tissue and ligament within you. All the while, it feels as if you're falling towards the machine, your stomach mashed against your spine. What happens next is too fast to process. You awaken from the vision to find yourself kneeling and gasping for air. Holding your head, you let the tiles between your knees gradually come into focus. As you catch your breath, you remember the strange scene you saw outside Sealant Lys, where several robed figures fell amidst the howling Biawak. Looking at the ash scattered around the cavern floor, it is apparent that the Lenki has been doing this, whatever it is, all over the Deerwood.
Huh?
Let's see what lies this way.
So it looks like I'm done. Probably just have to inform Lady Webb now. Let's see what this does. You hear running water and see a small stream that carves its way into the mountain. Inspect the stream. A shallow bottom flickers and wavers just under the water's edge, but as you look towards the tunnel, the bottom disappears into darkness. From here, it's impossible to tell how deep the stream is. However, a faint light plays along the walls of the tunnel. The echo of rushing water suggests that the tunnel and stream continue for quite some distance. Wade to the tunnel. You take slow, sloshing steps toward the mouth of the tunnel, holding yourself upright with the current tug, while the current tugs at your legs. The cold water leaves you gasping, and as it rises past your waist, you fight to control your breaths. The stream bed soon drops out from under your feet, and the current pushes you forward the tunnel with greater force. Swim into the tunnel. The current pushes you through the tunnel faster and faster, tugging you downward. Over your head, the tunnel narrows and drops, leaving only a thin pocket of air. You take a final deep breath before the current drags you into the depths. Rays of light pierce the darkness, but the current is moving too fast now for you to see more than flickering glimpses as you speed by. You keep your hands in front of yourself and focus on avoiding the jagged rocks that appear suddenly in the darkness, jutting from the walls. A light winks at you up ahead. You're approaching it fast, but it looks to be the mouth of a second, smaller tunnel. You might be able to reach it, but your lungs have started to ache. Grab the edge of the tunnel. You wrap your fingers around the rocks lining the tunnel and peer into it. It terminates in a dead end, but something glints amongst the rocks at the far side. Reaching it would be a challenge for anyone without strong lung capacity. Let's send Ader. Ader pulls himself into the tunnel, executing deft scissor kicks while the passage narrows. At the end, he finds a skeleton with a handle protruding from its ribs. Ader pulls it free and pushes off from the wall, propelling himself back towards the main tunnel. Swirling and tumbling through the darkness of the tunnel, you at last see a halo of light above and you swim and kick towards it. At last, your head breaks the surface. You gulp air into your lungs and you pull yourself to the edge of the pool. Crawling out of the water, you look at the cavern around you as you massage feeling back into your aching, cold, numbed limbs. You have gained an item, the Rose of Salt Hollow, added to inventory. Ooh, a two-handed morning star. You know what? Let me take a look at his character sheet. Alright.
Let's see what lies this.
Let's head here and go through this exit. We need to get back to our stronghold to meet that visitor as well. This might take me out by those other people. Which means they may want to fight. The warriors turn as you exit the room, their painted faces betraying shock and anger. You were warned, Estrabar. Whatever.
My mind feels...
Dead on.
Let's go.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
Bunin Iancu and Ancu Ibunin. Life in death and death in life. Magnificent.
Okay, so it looks like I'm done here. Ready to head to
You must gather your
the
party
stronghold.
before venturing forth. looks a little healthier than before.
Marshal Forwin. Beryl. Greetings, Lord Ponzeric. My name is Beryl. If you have the time, I have an urgent matter I'd like to discuss. Very well, let's hear it. You call for your allies and prepare to hear the petition. I have been tasked with meeting with representatives from the Fisher Crane tribe near Thane Bog. It is my hope to come to peaceful terms. Unfortunately, I haven't had much practice with the Glonfathan language, and the Fisher Crane are, by nature, very reclusive. I fear that the circumstances are ripe for a misunderstanding. You yourself, I hear, have had some dealings with the Glonfathans. I would welcome any assistance or advice you may offer. I'll have someone escort you. Oh, with whom will I be traveling? Sagani, her experience as a hunter and traveler should serve you both well. Thank you, my lord. We'll set out right away. Hervas and Sagani is assigned. That leaves Aloth. Okay.
How may I help?
Let's see, he uses a scepter or a wand, I think. I think I got a wand or a scepter of an epic level. Dagger. Could be wrong, though. Been wrong before. Quarterstaff. Rapier. Stiletto. Sword. Yep, wrong. Okay, that's fair. That's fine.
I trust all is well. Please let me know if there's...
Word of Kay and Noah is spreading far and wide. I expect we'll be receiving visitors from every corner of the world soon. It's... we already heard that. Okay, so I took care of that, which means I can actually go talk to Lady Webb.
stones and the spirits in this place have begun to heal.
See how long they're going to be gone. 1 turn, 5 days, 25 hours. Let's see. Rest with the Woodlands Trails bonus. You feel a presence hovering nearby. When you turn, you see the grieving mother observing you. Concern crinkles the corner of her eyes and seeps into your mind. You will recall of your own, Watcher. I see you shrouded by old lives and unanswered questions. Can you see any details of my past lives? She closes her eyes, and you feel her energy directed inwards at you. She searches your mind, your memories, and parts of you that feel numb and still. She is as gentle as a mother of the newborn. Finally, she retreats. I'm sorry, whatever secrets your soul hides are not present in your mind. Yes, I felt them more and more of late. This is why we journey together. That one may draw strength from many, and that much may be mended by the purpose of one. As she peers at you, her brow seems creased with a new kind of anxiety. Your obscure past, does it trouble you? No, whatever I've done, my decisions now matter more. She nods. I admire your clarity, Watcher, and I hope I may help prepare you for the decisions ahead. She retreats from you, fading into the background. If you did not already know she was here, you suspect you wouldn't notice her at all.
Huh?
Alright, so it's time to head back to Lady Webb, who I believe is in the first fires.
The stones and the spirits in this place have begun to heal.
Let's head, I think it's to First Fires, where Lady Webb is located. Let's head there. This may be the end of Act 2, because I'm running out of storyline quests to do. I had 3 of them, 3 main storyline quests, and this is the last one, is to talk, basically update Lady Webb. Hedgemaids construction complete, hireling payday. Let's upgrade the botanical garden. Alright. Nope, that is not where she's at. Brackenberry? Yep.
Aye?
Save before we go in. Haven't saved in a while.
Right.
How fares your search? Yes?
There's something I could tell you about the Leaden Keys
Well,
operation.
let's hear it.
The Leaden Keys manipulating a group of Ingwithian machines to span the country, and it seems to be causing the Hollowborn epidemic.
I had feared they might be involved in Widewind's legacy. It seemed too extreme even for them. How naive I've been. The Leaden Keys conspiracy is clear now. They have used Engwithan technology to engineer Widewind's legacy, and they want people to blame Animancy for it. As we speak, the Duke is holding hearings in the palace. He is listening to arguments for and against Animancy. When they finish, he is expected to decide whether to outlaw it. It seems the Leaden Key has been pushing Deerwood down this path for some time. I, for one, would enjoy seeing their little scheme fouled up at the last moment. Our Duke must hear what you have to say. Unfortunately, the hearings are closed to the public, which makes the Duke inaccessible until they are completed. However, certain groups have been invited to attend. You might get in with one of them if you aren't above a little pandering. There are delegations from the Knights of the Crucible, the Dozens, and from House Dominel. If you can gain the support of one of those groups, that may be your best way in. See what you can arrange.
I want to discuss the Animancy hearings at the palace.
What of them?
What is there to know about the Duke?
Avar is many things to many people, and that is why he sits the throne. To the frontiersmen, he is one of their own. To the patriotic, he is a sole descendant of Admeth Hadrit. To the nobility, he is from an old and established family. All of these are half-truths or exaggerations, a tale he has spun around himself. The man behind the tale may not be the greatest mind in Deerwood, but he knows people. He knows when they are sincere and when they lie. He knows when they are strong and when they are weak. The other matters he leaves to me. Outwardly, he prefers to come off a bit of a simpleton. Don't be fooled. Before he was a duke, he was a trapper, and an excellent one at that.
Wouldn't they allow a guest of Dunred Row into the hearings?
We would only do that as a last resort. Walking in with one of the 3 invited groups puts you in a position of influence. Walking in alone as a representative of Dunreed Row would earn you distrust among all the rest. It seems our organization has a reputation for nosiness and manipulation for whatever reason. It would be best if people did not see Dunreed Row's hand in this.
Alright, so I have to go in as a Crucible Knight. They're the only people I haven't pissed off. Crucible Knights should let me in. I'm on good terms with them. See, Crucible Knights are in the first fires, I believe. I understand that the Crucible Knights are attending the Animancy hearings at the palace.
Indeed. Duke Avar looks to the Knights for prudent counsel as well as defense. I suspect our future as a city and a nation will depend in no small part on how we handle this matter.
What do you think about Animancy? Despite what happened with the Forge Knights, Animancy merits further study in other contexts. There's much yet that Animancers could do to cure soul maladies, strengthen essence, perhaps even ameliorate the effects of the legacy. He scratches his chin. We won't know until we try, and we can't afford to sit on our hands while our rivals watch us grow weak. Tell me about the hearings. He gives you a gruff frown. They're progressing slower than I'd like. The dozens raise a ruckus whenever anyone so much as mentions Animancy, and the Dominoes are obfuscating matters on purpose. Nevertheless, I'm confident Avar will see reason eventually. I need an audience with Duke Avar. I'd like to attend the hearings, and we'll be glad to have you with us. Avar will no doubt find your presence persuasive, and we need all possible support to see that he gives Animancy a fair chance. Indeed. Is there anything else I could do for you? Goodbye.
Hi?
Huh?
Hi?
Yeah.
Brackenberry. Back to Brackenberry. We're up to 46 hours. Long game.
How fares your search?
If I'm going to do this for you, I think it's time you told me everything about Theos.
I've told you everything you need to know.
But not everything.
It's only right that you know everything. When I was younger, before Dunreed Row, I had many suitors. These were fine-looking men of good stock, but I could see their thoughts, and they were unimpressive. Boys' thoughts. I toyed with their affections. I resented all of them. And then I met a man whose mind was a mystery to me. But he understood me. He knew me at a glance, told me things I didn't know about myself. He was neither handsome nor charming, but he was all I ever wanted.
You're talking about Theos.
We made a game of my gift. He would ask me about people, and I would tell him what they were thinking. Sometimes the information was very sensitive. And then one day he asked me if I trusted him. I said I did. Next I knew I was donning a silver mask and swearing oaths to Woodica. Using my gift for the leaden key still felt like a game to me, so I did it. I did it because it pleased him.
But it didn't last.
I don't like living in the dark. It's a powerless, hopeless feeling. Every day I did things without knowing their purpose. Every day I loved a man without knowing his thoughts of me. I sensed that there were things he wanted to tell me. I sensed that he knew everything the leaden key was created to hide. But Theos was unyielding. One day I disappeared without a word. He would kill me for it, and I knew that. It's their rule. I just wanted to see him plunge the knife, because then I would know. But the day never came. He has left me to wonder. I have devoted my years to learning everything I could about him, in hopes I would find some clue as to who he really was, and why he felt he had to keep his secrets locked away. I have precious little to show for it. Just an old woman nagged by old thoughts. And that is truly everything I can tell you about Theos. I hope you will accept this embarrassing story as a show of my good faith.
I have other questions.
Yes? There was. He believed in dying with dignity.
Okay, let's go ahead and save and go to the animacy hearings.
How fares your search?
I want to discuss the animacy hearings
What
at the
of
palace.
them?
The Knights of the Crucible have accepted me into
Good.
their delegation.
Avar Wolfgren looks to the Crucible Knights as a voice of reason and order. Speaking from their section should lend you credibility with him. You need waste no more time here. Get to the palace. Make your case to the Duke. With him on our side, all of Deerwood can be mobilized against the Leaden Key, and Theos can be rooted out. I only wish I could be there to see it. There is a very old bottle of a very good brandy that I have been saving for a special day. If you hurry back afterward, there may be a little left for you. Off with you. You're going to do very well in there. What of them?
Alright. Attend the hearings at the Ducal Palace in the First Fires. What the well holds. Venturing into the depths of the White Wreath Well, Herveus discovered that while the foundations of the well were made of living Adra, the source of the sounds were wicks that had been dropped into the well by their mothers. In total, a dozen women from White Wreath and the surrounding woods had dropped their children into the well after they learned they would turn into Wicts. Some had died, but many survived the fall, living on small rodents and other critters that wandered the ruined Ingwithian tunnels under the well. Hiravice was forced to fight the aggressive Wicts, but eventually emerged and told the village what had transpired. Some of the mothers confessed what they had done immediately. Others fled the village. In the end, no one had the desire to punish anyone for what had happened. I should go back and pick up Hiravice since I have quests with him and I don't for Aloth. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to come back to the first fires. Gonna go pick him up. Do 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 do. All right, so we're gonna drop him off and pick up Hiravice.
Last thing the Deerwood needs is another foreign colony.
Yeah? Ranged melee.
Need something?
Where's the item he brought back with him? Swaddling sheet. Where is it? Two keeps withdrawal. Why can I not find the swaddling sheet anywhere? Am I blind? Where is it? He's using a mace and a flail. Let's see what he's designed to use. Hatchet, spear, quarterstaff, hunting bow, unarmed. Let's do corrosive lash. Let's do vessel. Okay. But no, really, where's the thing it says that I got from? Maybe it's in some sort of... Let's see. Hedge maze, craft hall, curio shop, training grounds. Let's go look at Bright Hollow. Maybe it's inside one of the chests there. And then we'll level him up and we'll head back to the First Fires and wrap this puppy up. Well, so maybe it's in the main building? I don't know. I mean, it says I got a quest item reward. Typically, it's with the character, but this one wasn't. Not that I could see. Maybe I'm blind. Oh, that reminds me, though. See if he has any... I don't know. Glove, hands, boots, ring. Hands, boots, ring. Hands, boots, ring. I don't have any spare, apparently.
Not as beautiful as the Anguithin ruins near my home, but your fortress is impressive in its own little way.
I trust...
Welcome.
Greeting, my lords. Fancy a new blade, maybe an axe? Plenty here to take the fancy of any man of action. Or perhaps some ingredients and spices for the road. I've oils and tinctures for the ailing man too. Want to have a look? Show me your wares. Ah, okay, here we go. Didn't even know that was there. Okay, so we got a potion. Mossy Rock, which is a summon ability to just put that there. Ivan's Cradle. Eh. Let's see, got some... Okay, so Swaddling Sheet. Grants Recall Agony once per rest. Grants Overwhelming Wave when hit by a critical hit. Once per encounter. That's kind of cool. Let's give that to him. Okay, we can go there. Boots, Major Spellbind, Exalted Hands. So it's a heal. He doesn't have boots. Good enough. Neck, Final Rites, grants Holy Radiance on unconscious. 15% healing done. So that's really something for him. 25% healing received and +5 reflex. This is increase in healing done. Alright, so that's pretty good. Now let's head out to the level him up first. Yeah, let's do Dancing Bolts. I like that.
Need something?
Oh, a free one per encounter. Nice.
Huh?
Let's go rest at the inn. Then we will head to First Fires and attend the Animate hearings.
Sure.
This place, as beautiful as it can be with the absence of children.
Oh, I don't have to go there to rest. I can just use the button on my hotbar. That's good. Let's head to the first fires and let's attend this animancy hearing.
So, Kana, what do folks in Rawatai do for fun? Aside from each other? Do you just gape at every shiny object that comes along? Or is that just what you do when abroad?
Of course he shows up just as I leave. Damn it.
Festivals. Drink a little wine, find someone to dance with.
Wine and dancing? Oh, guess I had it all wrong. So, no shark races and undersea orgies?
No, that's all true.
Go to the upper floor. Duke Avar Wolfgren. The room below is animated amidst a heated debate. All the representative groups are easily discerned in the crowd. Crucible Knights, stiff in their noisy armor, sit in one section. In another are well-dressed members of House Dominel, casual, watching with a predator's interest. Still elsewhere are the ramshackle dozens who have made no special effort to dress up for their liege lord. Interspersed are animancers in their academics' robes with expressions either sour or concerned.
Well then, answer me this, Master Barash. If you Animancers represent our best hope to cure the legacy, what progress can you demonstrate?
As I've said, it isn't about progress, it's about potential.
My house would agree, Your Grace. We see great potential in its future.
And I suppose your blazing profits during the legacy don't have nothing to do with that, do they, Dominel? You can't have it both ways no more! Animancy goes, or this country goes!
So you admit, Master Barask, that Animancy is no closer to stopping the legacy than it ever was?
No, we've had many promising experiments. Cadman Azo has shown...
Cadman Azo murdered a child. For a complete failure. We should be hanging him right now for what he done. The dozens won't stand for it.
There is no need. Master Azo recently passed the Shroud. And while the experiment failed, his work...
His work was sabotaged.
Ah, our new delegate from the Knights of the Crucible. What makes you say sabotage?
I met a false patient in Brackenbury Sanitarium who had tampered with Azo's machinery.
The fuck's that even matter? These are people who would toy with the lives of our children!
Indeed. Even assuming there was sabotage, is this Animancer Azo not still accountable here?
Rational too. Those who know me around here know me to be fair in judgment. Cadman Azo should be held guilty. I think he should. He was doing horrible experiments on people.
Exactly! Look at what happened in Heritage Hill. Our supposed protectors from Crucible Keep can't even clean up the messes Animancy leaves!
Your Grace, we'd have a much easier time of it if our knights weren't so occupied trying to keep their organization from igniting a revolution on our very doorstep.
Heritage Hill is blood on your hands, Justiciar! You turn a blind eye, and look what happens.
I've been to Heritage Hill since the quarantine. Though the knights were unable to control the damage, it was not Animancy, but an ancient machine that caused it. The Crucible Knights are blameless here. This was not the workings of Animancy, but an ancient device in Terra Noneth.
You've some strange taste in travels, friend. The height of your tales expands with every breath.
Honest, too. That's what I'll go with.
I had heard whispers of a new delegate set to attend today's hearing. I admit that your candor was mentioned more than once. Tell us what you saw in Heritage Hill.
Terra Noneth houses an Ingwithian machine that holds dominion over the flow of souls. It was this machine that made the district undead. Do you think that was the machine's purpose, or just a dire side effect? Kana shudders. But then, why would the Ingwithians build such a machine at all?
Even if it is as you say, we have testimony that a group of animancers had been spending time there. Surely their tinkering had something to do with this.
I have reason to believe there were others at the tower who might have done this.
Animancy has many enemies. You need only look around this room to see it.
You're missing the point! Everywhere there's Animancers, there's disaster!
He's not wrong.
We all know what Widewind's legacy's really about. And it ain't about some sparkling saint from Creed Ceres who's mad because he took a stroll down the wrong bridge!
Ha! Wrong bridge indeed.
It's about a bunch of so-called intellectuals fucking with the natural order while the rest of us gotta suffer for it!
Is it, though? Should we not take the time to reach a clear conclusion? I mean, what proof do we have?
My son and daughter are buried beneath the floor of my house. We don't own no land, so that's where we lay them. My son. My wife let him slip when she was bathing him. Got water in his lungs he couldn't cough up. My daughter? We put her to bed one night, and the next morning she wasn't breathing. This Hollowborn thing, it ain't ending. And it ain't ending because we still let these charlatans play God. There's your proof, you damn copper fucker!
Enough, Adric. Lady Dominel makes a point. If it's Animancy, then why do the other states that permit the practice not suffer the same fate? Who among us can say he truly understands why the legacy has taken hold here?
I can. The grieving mother reaches toward your mind with hers. Bring order to the chaos here. I can. The crowd begins to mother, the sound taking a doubtful character. Right idea, Watcher. Taking this hearing by the curling ones. Don't waste your chance. Widewind's legacy is the creation of the Leaden Key. Caedmon Azo's downfall was their work, as was the tower in Heritage Hill. They want you to do this. They want Animancy to fall. The dull muttering expands into a din of skepticism that fills the hall. I have seen them in the ruins of Erglanfath, operating machines that disrupt and redirect the flow of souls, near towns like Gilded Vale and Deerford, where the legacy is universal. As a watcher, I have heard their dead confess their plot. They are stealing the souls of the unborn.
Beasts. Another lunatic at the hearing. Did you remember to lock your sanitarium before you left, Master Barask?
Okay, so I'm rational or stoic, so if, as the Duke says, no theory is more proof than any other, what is the harm in hearing one more? Your quips cannot change the truth. Stoic.
You must know, friend, that the Leaden Key is a mantle for small-time ruffians and children at play. I'm not saying you're a liar. Not yet. But you'd better start making sense of all this. Help us believe you.
What's more likely, that the gods are destroying Deerwood for a science practiced in many parts of the world, or that a group of people hates Animancy and wants it suppressed? Let's go with that.
Another guess! Throw him out on his ass, Your Grace! He's wasting our time!
This is no guess. I've seen these people carrying out their missions in the ruins of Eric Lonfoth.
The Justicia's right! This is sanitarium talk!
You've made an unexpected case, friend. I'll say that much. It seems we have a new possibility to consider, at the very least. How was it you came to learn all this?
The Knights of the Crucible were instrumental in aiding my investigation.
I see. I'm impressed the Knights seized such an unlikely opportunity to find an end to all of this. But these hearings are about more than Widewind's legacy, even though that is our most pressing concern. Let's say for the moment that I were to take you at your word that our friends in Brackenbury Sanitarium and their peers bear no responsibility for this curse upon my country. I'm curious, what would you do if you were in my position?
Allow Animancers continue their work. They explore questions we all wish to understand. If we'd known more, perhaps this crisis could have been averted. Animancy should be studied in Deerwood. If you don't, someone else will, and they will wield great power over you. The Animancers of Deerwood have been given too long a leash. The practice should be restricted and controlled. In truth, I'm not completely confident Animancy doesn't have something to do with Wadewind Legacy. It would be wise to brand practice, at least for now. Animancy is too dangerous. We are not meant to use it, and we've proven why we are unworthy of it. It should be outlawed. Let's go with number 2. I do not trust these Animancers, seeking first after gain and glory. But if they can heal our children, I would not hinder them.
Very well. That is all I wish to hear. Not just from you, but from everyone. Many days we've been at this. It is time we put it to rest. I want to thank the delegations for helping me collect my thoughts. And our new delegate, who, if nothing else, has made this final day a little more interesting. The time has come to choose a direction for the Deerwood. I am ready to make my pronouncement. Ramir D. Barash, representing the interests of Animancers in Deerwood, step forward.
Your Grace.
The arguments for and against Animancy are both strong in their own way. I must be careful in my judgment.
Forgive me, Your Grace. We will accept no judgment but our own.
What's he doing?
No, wait!
Stop this at once!
I've given you every chance to end this pursuit. Shall I end it for you? Another time. I am already late.
The words, "Shall I end it for you," ring in your ears. You find yourself gasping for breath, struggling to keep your own balance. You drop to a knee and watch as Theos hurries out of the building. The world dims around you, the screams and clashing of weapons fading to silence. All that remains are the words.
Shall I end it for you?
Theos stands at a pulpit high above an assembly of robed onlookers, you among them, clustered around a wide circular pit carved out of stone. He addresses a woman bound backward over a large iron wheel overlooking the great stone maw. Many of the woman's fingers and toes are severed, and the bottoms of her feet are charred black. The skin on one side of her face looks like melted candle wax, black and red and seeping, and the angle of her back suggests a spine in ruins. Yet for all that, her expression betrays little of her anguish.
I am already at peace, Grand Inquisitor. Are you?
Her eyes are barely open and her words come between strangled breaths, but they are steady, unbroken.
So be it. If you desire no end, you shall have none. I find you guilty of heresy. May the eternal prison bar your soul from passage, for it is beyond redemption.
He nods to a hooded attendant who begins untying her from the wheel. You open your eyes to the beam ceiling of the palace's grand entry hall. The clangs of metal striking metal wafted in from outside along the cries of the injured as you stagger to your feet. Theos is gone. Ader leans in, his head upside down in your sight as he peers down at you from above. Hey, you're alive. He looks you over, frowning. Can you move? We shouldn't stick around. When der Woodens get stirred up, they like to start burning things. Off to one side, you can hear the clink and rustle of chainmail, and you look over to see a wounded guard slumped against the wall. He's trying to say something, seemingly directed at you, but at first it is too faint to hear. He gathers his breath and manages to rasp out a few words. Lady Webb, she's the only... She must be told. She'll know what to do. Please find her. Tell her everything. The guard passes out and slides to the floor.
Huh?
Supplicant has arrived from Twin Elms. Okay. He's got 7 days to get back there. Send escort. Send Aloth. Okay. Let's see what this new ability is. The Watcher peers into the sleeping memories of previous lives, drawing upon their power to enhance all of his or her attributes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this place has seen better days. Oh, so much for the sanitarium. Oh, this doesn't look good for Lady Webb. Well, I can loot stuff now. They're dead anyways. They don't need money if they're dead. Alright, let's go talk to Lady Webb. It looks like she might be dead too.
And what does the flame reveal? I can do that. As requested.
Poor Lady Webb looks like she's finally dead. Old Lady Webb. Lady Webb lies still in her bed, an ornate cushion propping her back upright. The blood pooled beneath a gash in her chest is tacky and nearly dry. A shattered glass rests on the floor beneath her dangling hand. You could feel a faint aura of her fading essence in your ken. Reach out for it. You make contact and are immersed in a torrent of sensory input and experience. When it calms, you find yourself in the same room, lying in bed with a glass of brandy in your hand. Through the walls from the street outside, you come to the sounds of scream and shattering glass and the cacophony of an angry mob. You take a sip and it warms your gullet. Across the room, the door is open behind a patient, steady push. Into the room walks Theos, the floorboards creaking beneath deliberate steps. You wait until the last of the brandy is trickled down your throat before you speak.
I was a fool to think I could tame these people.
You came closer than most.
A fine epitaph.
No worse than any.
You are concentrating, focusing with all your energy. It feels as though you're diving into a stone wall over and over, but it cracks suddenly, unexpectedly, allowing the vaguest wisp of a thought to leak through.
What's in Twin Elms?
Did you pull that from my thoughts?
I've had time to practice.
Ah.
He walks over to a small table and raises a half-empty brandy bottle to eye level. He seems to approve of this selection and begins to reach for an empty glass.
I was saving that for someone.
Pity. You know this is how it has to be.
He replaces the brandy bottle on the table with care before approaching the bedside. He sits on the edge of the bed next to you. His words come freely, absent of all doubt. He draws a long curved knife from his belt smeared with fresh blood. With his left hand, he gently pins your sternum as he raises the knife in the other, its point dangling above your heart.
Prove it.
Theos slips the knife between your ribs and pushes it through. Layers of tissue separate with brittle, papery stiffness, and blood wells up around the blade. A pulse of reflex causes you to drop your glass to the floor, and you hear it shatter. With the last of your strength, you take his knife hand in both of yours, a question radiant in your mind. For an instant, completed Act 2, yes. For an instant, to your great surprise, the pathway to his mind is left open to you, unguarded, and the answer comes. Simple, cataclysmic in its reordering of your thoughts. As Lady Webb, you feel as though you have an answer you searched for all your life, but in your own mind, her understanding lies just beyond your reach. You look at Theos with the wide eyes of someone seeing for the first time and draw your last breath as a black velvety darkness descends over you.
Smoke rises above the city walls in billowing plumes that blacken the sky like a storm. Behind the walls, the riots rage on. Known patrons of Animancy are forced into hiding as looters ransack their estates and make off with their possessions. Animancers are torn away from their families and dragged from their homes to be stoned to death in the streets. Word had spread immediately that Duke Avar had been assassinated, and that an Animancer was to blame. The city wasted little time in exacting revenge, and little effort into evaluating guilt. In the center of it all, Brackenberry Sanitarium burned. And down the lane, Hodred House, the last bastion of stability in the Deerwood, had fallen silent. Now safely outside the city gate, your path points eastward to Twin Elms, where Theos is bound, for reasons that remain mysterious as the Leaden Key itself.
Act 2 done. Excellent. I do have to go back to the stronghold to do this. I'll probably, before I get moving on Act 3, I'll probably go back to stronghold, do this, and then work on the Endless Path quests. Oh, they're not letting me back into any place in Defiance Bay. Interesting. Hope I don't have any quests that require me to go there anymore. Or maybe it'll open up again later. Okay, they said Stormwall Gorge is where I have to go next, according to that passing dialogue. So let's go to Caed Nua.
This place, as beautiful as it can be with the absence of children.
Well, looks like he wants to talk about something.
Yeah.
Hey, say what you want about Deerwoodans. They haven't met the problem yet they couldn't solve by killing some scapegoats.
He flashes a hollow smile. You fight for people because you see something there that deserves defending. Even more so because someone you trust sees it too. Then you turn around, they do sound like this, the person who made you want to help them is gone. You weren't really fighting for all of them, though. Heh, just the ones I like, then. Maybe. It'd be nice if you got to choose. Tell the lowlifes that if you die, it won't be for their sorry hides. Never thought I'd find myself missing the hospitality back home.
Sure.
It's good you're here. I simply must speak with you, my lord. Very well, let's hear it. As I'm sure you are well aware, wealth has a way of birthing enemies. My fortress is beset by thieves. I'm sure one of the lesser nobles is after my treasury. This has the stink of jealousy upon it. It'll be weeks before I can secure my holdings, and by then I'll be too late. I haven't the connections to hire mercenaries on short notice. So I turn to you, my lord. Is there anything you could do? Make a stand, defend your keep. I don't have the resources, my lord. My forces are spread thin. I need an army. You'll have support from the Crucible Knights. That should be more than enough to fend off these thieves. Thank you, Lord Ponzeric. That's bound to do the trick. I can't wait to see those ruffians scatter. Alright, I think that's a good stopping point. Next time I stream, we'll do some Endless Paths work. We got deep enough to like level 6 or 7 on the Endless Paths, and we cleared it to the point where the level we were on, it specifically said the Endless Paths at this point are going to outlevel you. Go back. And I tried to fight them, and in fact I did get my hat handed to me, so that was where I stopped. I think I was level 6 at the time. My party's mostly level 9 now, so I should be good enough to do it. So that's the plan for the next time I stream Pillars of Eternity. We finished Act 2, making progress. Now we have to work on Endless Paths, clean up quests, and go to Twin Elms. So I appreciate everybody who stopped by to watch, and I will call that a stream, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you. Bye.